Okay, so here's a kind of quick one for you. A little bit offbeat, but whatever. As some of y'all know, I am a ecologist by trade. This whole mechanical fixing things is just out of necessity. It's just part of who I am. But anywho, so I was out with a group doing a complete biological survey yesterday, and I've got this set of 8x42 Vortex Diamondbacks. Best binoculars on the market for the money. It was like 160 bucks for this set. I mean, and they're fantastic. I've got like excellent vision. I think when I was younger it was like 2010, and which means I can see twice as far with twice the visual acuity as a normal person. 2020 is average, 2010 is exceptional. I think now I'm down to about 2015, but anywho. So these are all I need to really see what I need to do out there. And I had an issue. So one of these adjustable lens things just started doing this. It's supposed to be a detent in there that has a nice satisfying click, click, and it just started going all floppy like this. And this was actually the good one. I was just playing with it right now before I started this video, and it started doing the same thing. And the nice thing about Vortex is they have like an unlimited lifetime warranty, and I could send these back in and get them fixed, no problem, for free. But you know how I am. I don't like having people. I don't like, shipping something across the country just to get something really minor like this fixed. And for a $160 pair of binoculars, the cost of shipping and everything, because I don't know if they pay shipping or not. I haven't really looked into it, but I figured I'd take it apart to see whether it was something hard or not. And then this one did it, so it looks like I'm doing it on both. But I think I know how to fix this. So there is a little track down in here, and what's supposed to be in there is this little piece of rubber. It is like basically a snipping of a 1/16 inch thick rubber O-ring. And what I think has happened is that these have petrified from sitting in the sun of my car for several years. And then also sand has gotten down in there and just degraded them and ate them away. So I think those are no longer actually doing anything down in here. So I'm going to pop this cap off and pull this one apart too to see if that's the issue. But what it really is this is just a rubber cap that fits on the outside of a little metal guy who has been cut with these cam surfaces. And then this side down in here is the bottom, and this sits in here like this. And then there are 3 little brass screws that screw in like that, and this cam's in those screws, and then this little rubber guy down in there pops into these slots in here, but it sits in this little slot in here. So basically that rubber compresses, and then when it pops up into one of these grooves, it pops in place, next place, etc., etc. And if that rubber gets petrified and stops being springy, or it gets worn away from sand, it's no longer going to fill up that gap, and you're not going to have the detent. So I am going to pull this guy apart as well and see if I can get in there and jam some pieces of O-ring in there to fix this guy. And then that'll save me like a 2-week downtime as well as potentially shipping costs, because I have a big box of nitrile O-rings right here. So I might as well give it a whirl. Worst I can do is screw it up, and then it'll be in exactly the same state anyway. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so I just peeled the rubber off of this one, and one more of these little guys fell out, and then there is another one that is trying to escape right there. So yeah, the problem is not that these are actually getting worn down or petrifying, it's that they're, whatever adhesive was holding them in or whatnot has kind of given up the ghost, and they are now kind of just walking out into the cam channel and then getting up here and binding it. So I think one of them must have fallen out when I went to check on the other one last time. And oh yeah, see, and there he's going. And the only thing that was holding it in was that cap. And then when I peeled the cap off out in the field to see what the heck was going on, it just kind of escaped. So yeah, I'm going to see if there's a third one down in there. And I'm going to also see if I can glue in this O-ring just with a tiny dab of adhesive and see if that gets me going just right. Well, those have all been glued in with the old Wonder Paste. So I'm going to let that sit for a day, and then we will try and fit everything back in And we will hope that those stay in place now for forever. Okie dokie. I was impatient. It's been like 8 hours, but it looked like the glue had set enough, so I put everything back and boop. This one is very stiff, but it works. That nitrile is a little bit more gooey than whatever the OEM little bits of tiny rubber are. But yeah, that is working just fine. So I am actually going to glue the eyepieces back on. I'm just going to take these and some more of that Wonder Glue. And I mean, with this, you probably want to get a 16th inch O-ring. I would go with a nylon over these nitrile. And for the glue, I mean, really anything. I got this stuff for gluing phone screens back on, and it works great for this. It works great for like any time I need to glue any kind of plastic or rubber together with just a light but strong adhesive. It's perfect for that. I mean, I think it was like $10 for a tube of this. Just grab you some. You'll last you a lifetime. But yeah, that fix looks to have taken. So I'm going to glue these eyepieces back on, let it set, and hopefully I can still see through them. Alright, so it's the next morning. Waited 12 hours for the glue holding the rubber eyepieces on to set, and as you can see now, we have our satisfying detent positions. It's a little stiff on this one that I added the O-rings to, and this one back to where it's supposed to be. Maybe a little looser, but that worked out perfectly. So yeah, and really go over what you need to actually do this fix. Really all you need is like maybe a set of fine tweezers. I just did it with a knife tip, but you know, either a knife, a razor blade, or a pair of sharp scissors. Some kind of 1/16 inch thick nitrile or nylon O-ring. I guess plain rubber would also work too. And you need a fine tip flathead screwdriver, and that's and some kind of adhesive. That T8000 stuff I have worked great. I don't really know anything off the top of my head that would work good. I wouldn't use Elmer's glue. I wouldn't use epoxy. I wouldn't use anything that hardens. Wouldn't use super glue. Just something that's removable but also strong. I think that T8000 is a kind of RTV or something like that. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could use like a silicone caulk, or maybe like some clear RTV or something like that. Probably work just as well. But that T8000 works for me. It's cheap and it's useful for a lot of things. I just picked that up, but she's fixed. The reason why I think this failed is because it kind of sits in my car in the sun all day, every day. And I think the adhesive that they used from the factory to hold the eyepiece on, as well as to hold those little rubber bits into the aluminum, just like disintegrated. It just, enough heat cycles, it just kind of deteriorated and lost its like adhesive qualities and just kind of petrified. And then since those little rubber bits are under a lot of strain with this twisting, I think just some sand and stuff got in there, just kind of bound it up a little bit, got a little bit too much friction, and then as soon as one of them breaks, then they all start going because all this looseness develops in there. And then it works its way into the cam track, and then you get the looseness. And once the looseness gets in there, it kind of monkeys with everything, and it just all falls apart from there. And it just takes one going for the whole thing to get loose and stop working. And yeah, so no real fault on, Vortex. I mean, these are the lowest cost options. This is not the like $2,000 glass set. This is the literal cheapest $160 binoculars, and they are absolutely fantastic for the money. So no knock to Vortex, and I mean, I'm sure their warranty would have replaced it, but I'm a weird kind of lazy. I don't like asking people to do things for me, and I'll take several hours to fix something myself that I could have got someone else to fix for free, and it would have taken them 5 minutes, but it would have taken me 3 hours to get them to convince them to fix it for me. And at the end of the day, my time is not as valuable as me burning up favors with somebody else getting them to fix them and then me owing them. So anywho, I fixed it myself. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, go down there, like, comment, tell me if you've ever had anything go wrong with these Vortexes. I mean, other than like, football punting them into the ground and them exploding. Because I hear a lot of people like just do something like weird like that, and their binoculars just explode because they like slam it into a wall or something, and they send them to Vortex and they get a free pair back. But this was just something really minor. But anywho, if you like seeing kind of these useful how-to repair videos and stuff like that, go down there and subscribe. There's more coming. Until next time, Tom out.